That's okay. Oh, Hassel's gone round there.
Oh, has he?
Ayaquita, Jar Jar.
Alright, I think we're live, by the way. So hello everybody, welcome back to the senior league here in the Nitrous Racing League. Where it's round 7 here, and we're in Britain, and it's a surprise because normally you see Tyler commentating these type of things, but I'm not actually alone for this one.
Yep,
So
hello
for
everyone.
this one, I am joined by a fellow commentator, and yeah, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself.
Yep, hello everyone. Warm welcome from me. It's Warris Crow, you can call me. Very happy to be here commentating in the box with Dan, and very excited to see how today's race goes.
Yes.
In terms of our sponsors, just a quick shout out to our sponsors for today's stream, Interodata. It's all about data within your business. They accelerate your business growth by providing powerful insights and actionable advice in minutes to help improve performance. They even provide business insights for Coca-Cola Europe, so they are quite affluent in that manner. Head to the Discord and click the link to find out much more. And a very big thank you to Interodata for sponsoring the stream.
Yeah, it's a very nice sponsor there from the Interodata.
Yep.
I think quite a few people use it. So if you have time at the end, go check it out. You know, it's worth a shout. But yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna be an interesting race here. So this is round 7 in Britain. We did have a quite an interesting race in the Turbo League. So if you haven't checked out the Turbo League, it might be the time to do so. But we've got a few people on laps here, so it looks like the master is on a lap. We'll just have to wait and see what times we set. But yeah, it should be a very interesting one.
Yeah, already we've seen quite a few. Sorry to cut you off there. Then quite a few spin around the those tight corners of Maggots and Beckett. So I think it's hard to get those tyres up to temperature. I think they're struggling with some grip as well.
Yeah. Well, let's see what the master does. He's coming across the line. Let's see what time he can do here as he pulls off. 128.3. That's the time to beat at the minute. Here comes Rosamund. Just sneaks behind the mask. But we did have an interesting quality. 2 cent on pole though. What a time of 127.4 there.
Yes, commanding pole that.
It's nice to see. It's nice to see 2 cent back. He was actually quite busy recently. Wasn't able to race, but luckily we managed to get him back. So welcome back to Cent. It's nice to see the McLaren's back, and Whitley now is just on the lap for a few of us. Let's see what Pup can do. Pup on out lap. Oh yeah, Pup's on out lap. Yeah.
So we've got a few IRS on an outlap as well. I think he's just about to get ready. He crosses the start-finish line. Take us on board this lap, Dan.
Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what we can do. You might actually have to.
So he comes around the start-finish line. Tackles the first few corners pretty well. See the back end getting a bit squirrely there. He is choosing to go on the mediums. Hits the apex really well there. DRS straight on. Down the main straight, here we go. Let's see. Oh, a little bit late on the brakes. Gets squirrely there, but manages to keep it in check. Can't come out with as much power as he would want. Yeah, you see he's really fighting that car there. There's a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3, so someone must have gone off. But yeah, he's aborted the lap. But yeah, you can see they're really struggling to get those tyre temps up. They're really struggling to get some rear grip as well, especially around such difficult parts of the track, namely Maggots and Beckett's in your Woodcote, with such high-speed corners. You can really overheat your tyres in that part of the track.
Yeah, but Pub's about to come across the line now. Let's see what he can do as he comes around the final corner. Gets a decent exit there. And he manages to cross the line doing a 126.6. So that is the time to beat at the minute.
Yeah, he pops himself in provisional pole by 7 attempts there, Shankster. putting himself just in between him and Toussaint.
It's Chad. See what he can do. Puts him up into fourth of the 127.7. Sorry about that.
No, it's completely okay. Yeah, so I think some people just sitting in the pit for now, waiting for some free air to come out on. But already getting quite a few laps being put in. So it's going to be an interesting one. Still 10 minutes to go. Who's impressed you the most so far?
Well, at the minute so far, I mean, Pope just pulled out a decent time there. I mean, interesting to get him up into pole. But yesterday was an interesting one though, because it was wet. I won't spoil it too much, but if you haven't seen the Turbo League, go over to the YouTube channel. You might want to check it out, but don't go at this rest. You might want to watch it later.
Yeah. When we hop into the Discord, all the appropriate links should be there, so familiarize yourself. We have 2 very, very interesting leagues, and we're hoping for another cracker today.
Yeah, of course. I mean, someone just asked a question. I think Dirk just asked a question. He says, will there be more people filling the grid? Well, these are only just the reserve drivers. The main drivers. I think only one person was off today, maybe 2. But yeah, this is the grid for today. But so far, Perfect Pond, he's just about come across the line, see what he can do. He did quite well, pushed him up into 4th, a nice time from him. He won the... well, actually, I won't spoil it. So tempting to bring the spoilers, but I'm just not going to, because it's just not right.
Yeah, I must say that lap set by Pope, seemingly struggling to beat IRS, getting a little bit closer than those before him within 5 tenths, but you know, he is on the soft tire and some are on the mediums, so it's really just getting some laps under your belt and seeing how you fare over the course of the track warming up. So is there anyone to look out for, would you say, from the past 6 rounds? Who would you say is someone to keep your eye on for this race?
I'm not too sure. I'd probably say Pope, he's improved quite a bit. But also Perfect Pond, he's been doing quite well. So it is going to be a close one, I'd say. But
I see.
Everyone's been doing quite well recently. I mean, we've had a lot of improvements over the past 6 rounds. So we're just waiting to see what the outcome's going to be like.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have the mask on a flyer. Comes around the start-finish straight, and now he's just working his way around the first few curves. Manages to hug that curve brilliantly. Let's go on board with him now, down the RS straight here. Carries a lot of speed. Late on the brakes, I think he kept that really tidy. Just about touches the apex. Again, such a difficult part of the track to master. Now he comes around the pit straight. And he's really, really, carrying this car forward. Little downshift there, and he's gone off.
Went wide, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, you see through that Maggots and Beckett section, the tyres are getting so strained and obviously crying for some cold air. And when you take all that power through that straight, you got to make sure you're keeping your car together. But he goes on another outlap, going to warm up his tyres again.
Yeah, so let's ride on board with Ricky Styles as he's about to set a lap here. Let's see what he can do as he's coming across that fast right-hander in the middle sector.
Yeah.
Manages to make it flat, will be able to make it flat, doesn't invalidate. As he's coming across Maggots and Beckett's now, let's see what he can do. Manages to downshift into 7th, trying to keep the car up to speed, have to drop shift, downshift into 5th. As he manages to get that slipstream from Pope. Maybe from team orders there, we'll see what he can do.
Yeah.
Pope's going to move out the way for his teammate, down into 6th towards his sharp corner. Might be a decent time here as he's coming across the last 2 corners. What time
into Vale he goes.
And manages to hook it beautifully. Will he improve?
Yeah,
and it's going to be a 127, pushes him up into 8th placer.
From what I saw, that looked like a really, really good lap. But I think towards the end there, he just had to slow down a bit too much. He was lacking that rear grip. but that was a really good lap. You know, he kept it together well, especially through some difficult corners. And yeah, you know, it's good to see a lot of people getting some laps in now.
Yeah.
We have quite a few more people on their out laps, so hopefully some more laps coming in shortly.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. But could we see the potential rain? Because it looks like, I don't know if you can tell, but if you look at the clouds, they're quite a bit cloudy, aren't they? So we could see
Yeah,
some
it
rain
does
during
seem.
the actual race.
And that would give us quite a treat as spectators, as a neutral, to see how the drivers cope to such harsh conditions.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to spectate, but it's not nice to race in it, is it?
Yeah,
But
as a driver, you can only sort of control the anxiety levels.
yeah. Well, let's see what Moosey can do. He's coming around the final corners now. See what he can do. Gets into second, shifts up into third. Tries to get the rotation. I think he's got damage, but it could be a decent time. A 1:27.6 pushes him up into sixth place, so I don't think he has damage. So the only person that needs to set the a lap now is Bonnie Evil, and let's ride on board with the McLaren. As yeah, we'll just see what happens here. Managed to use all the DRS and ERS as possible out of that McLaren. And gets down into fourth, so we'll be able to hook this corner nice, get a decent exit. I think the key for this corner here is you've got to get a decent exit. Gets a decent exit there as he makes his way down to Crofts. And tries to flatten out the car as best as he can.
I'm just on board with the players. I think he's on a flyer. He comes into the pits. Yeah. So a lot of people, I think they're opting for a different set of tyres there. Obviously, I know. I just want to bring your attention back to the lap set by RS on the medium tyres to take it second fastest. So it's a worldly effort there. But it's still quite close at the top. Anyone can really make up those temps when they get a bit of a couple of laps under their belt.
Yeah, well, Bonnie looks like it's about to set a lap. We'll only be able to get it downshift into third, up into fourth. Managed to get a good exit there. Could it be a decent time from the McLaren? And it's going to be a 1:27 flat. Pushes him up into second place. What a time there from the McLaren.
Yeah, that's a stunning lap there. I think he really handled the entire lap pretty well, especially those tough corners. And he whipped out a really good lap. But obviously, early showings, Pope is going to be the man to beat today. He's created a very good qualifying lap, and you know, he's been unchallenged in the first 12 or so minutes of the short qualifying.
Quite good there. See, the only thing I'm seeing now is everyone's a tenth between each other. So anyone could basically win this one. Like, the majority of the grid is in 1:27.
Yep, it is very tight at the top there, and really as you said, throughout the entire grid.
Yeah, but the McLarens, they've pushed themselves now. They're going to be roughly starting on pole. Oh, and Bonnie's going for a little bit of a drive.
Yeah.
A bit of an interesting one. I never knew F1 cars were off-roading, but hey ho.
Yeah, I love a bit off-roading me.
New style.
Don't know if you keep up with the rally driving, but the rally driving is seeming to be quite interesting recently as well.
Yeah, well,
I guess he didn't want to. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay, don't worry about it. I think if we draw attention to Jay. Oh, is he run out of fuel? He's run out of fuel. He might have run out of fuel.
Is he?
Yeah, he's
that's a nightmare.
Yeah,
he must be.
See, I think
really
he would
kicking
have set a
himself.
decent time. Perfect Pond's run out of fuel. Basically, everyone's running out of fuel now. But yeah, hello to Ted, Swiss Cheese, saying Pond for the win. Well, it could be a decent one here from Pond. Black Country, nice to see you. Sorry, I was going to say hello earlier, but couldn't because reasons.
Yeah,
but hey,
hello everyone.
We move.
Yep.
But the Mask is on the lap now. He's just about to start one. Let's see what time he can do in the Williams. He probably will be able to get up there with Rosamund. But also Cloud never mind,
he's
the
gone
Mask is on
round
for a
there.
spin. And he's disqualified from the session.
He's
dear.
been disqualified. The Mask
That's
356
really
from race control has been disqualified from the session. That's really unfortunate there. But it just shows you just how difficult this track can be to master. You know, he has to every corner has to be really controlled and tight. And if you make silly mistakes like that, you will get punished. Race control are obviously quite tight here. Just remind us quickly, Dan, of the Constructors' Championship. Who's currently sitting on top?
Of course. Let's draw our attention over to the standings. See, we talked about this and I forgot all about it, so let's draw our attention to the standings. See, it's not like we planned it or anything, but you know.
No,
so
absolutely
in terms
not.
of the Constructors' standings so far, the Alfa Romeos are getting up on top with 154 points, followed by the Alpines coming in with 139 points. Ferrari has 106, Haas has 57, McLaren have 52, Aston Martin 33, AlphaTauri 26, Red Bull 15, Mercedes 13, and the Williams have none at the minute, but hopefully they gain some points. In terms of the driver standings so far, we got Shankster currently on top with 106 points, followed by Pope, slowly getting behind him though by 97, and we've obviously got Jake coming in with 91, so the top three are really close there in terms of points. And Weekly Styles has 49 points, hopefully he can get a few more points. We've got IRS Cloud on 39, we've got Natty on 35, only Luke Rosamond on 33, Bonnie Evil on 22, Toussaint 20, and then the player on 17, and then just the rest.
Yeah, so it's really turning out. Yeah, it's turning out to be a cracking season so far, only 7 rounds in. While you were actually explaining that, I was just having a look at Shankster. I think he's our championship leader. He's on a flyer at the moment, if you want to follow along with him, as he comes round the Chapel corner onto the hanger straight.
Yeah, see what time he can do here. See, this corner, I feel like it's... Oh, he manages to nail it. That's it flat there.
Yeah.
This should be a decent time for him, actually. And
little downshift there. Yeah, takes up the apexes really well.
I just have to wait and see what time he's going to do here. As he makes his way towards the final few corners. I think he's improving on them mediums. Not quite sure though. See what he can do. This is going to be the final lap for him.
Yeah, this has to be. Qualifying has now come to an end, so every lap now made is the lap that will stand at the end of the race, at the end of the qualifying session. Sorry.
Gets him up into 6th place, but if we draw our attention to IRS Cloud, he's somehow managed to get up to past Bonnie into 2nd place with a 127 flat, but it's like 0.002 of a second between.
That's a cracking lap, that is. You know, to bring himself up back into those, we call them podium positions, on the medium tyres is really a great feat here. But Pope does take pole position with a 126.5 on the soft tyres. I believe it will be followed by IRS McLeod and Bonnie in 3rd. That was a cracking qualifying session. We saw a lot of trouble early on, but I think there's a lot of information to take and see who's really going to be shining during the race.
Yeah, it's quite true there. But everyone's quite close now, and looks like everyone's just about finished their laps. But like we said, it's all to play for because it's rough. If everyone's in the 127, that could mean that everyone's quite faster in some particular areas of the track. Specifically, I'd say in the middle sector, because that can gain like a lot of time or lose a lot of time.
Definitely. You can make up a lot of time, especially in the middle sector. If you can chain a few good corners there, or in the last sector at least, you know, you can really elevate yourself in terms of lap time. But with this sort of, you know, time disparity between them, it's going to be a very tight race. And you know what they say, points are won in the race, and it's going to be quite exciting to see who has the better start and who, you know, wants it the most.
Very true. See, was it me or did I just see 4 AIs at the bottom there? I'm not really sure. So, here are the standings so far. So we got Pope in 1st, IRS Cloud in 2nd, Bonnie Evil in 3rd, Weekly Style in 4th, Toussaint in 5th, Shankster in 6th, Jake in 7th, only Luke Rosamond in 8th, Perfect Plan in 9th, Don Chad in 10th, El Muzi in 11th, Cass in 12th, Lokito in 13th, The Player in 14th. Can't see the rest of them. I always have the same problem with it, just can't read the bottom. But they're the stands so far.
Yep, I think that was a very strong qualifying from most of the people, very, very tight in the 127s. But as you can tell, the 4/10 gap to pole was a very demanding pole. He managed to
Yeah.
get himself away from the pack. Um, not the not the results some of the championship protagonists would want, but then again, the race is now, and it's just about who comes out on
That
top
is
during
true.
these first opening corners.
That is really true. That is really true. But yeah, so far so good from all these drivers here at the minute. It looks like from the clouds, it could still be a dry race there. It might actually be a wet one. Maybe a little bit of rain might come in. But I think it's clear skies. It's just my monitor's a little bit different.
Yep.
So it looks like we're
You
gonna have a
know,
clear race. Yeah, it looks like
yeah,
clear
we
skies
all
though.
love, yeah, a good amount of some good racing, some wheel-to-wheel action. Everyone enjoys it. But it's just about people obviously respecting the amount of space given, and hopefully we're in for a very, very clean race.
Yeah, but now they're making their way towards the formation map. And I think as just because you're the first person here to be a co-commentator for us at the NRL, how would you like to do the start of the race, so like the first lap?
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Alright, cool.
If you don't want to, I'm more than happy to.
Nah, I mean, it's just I don't want it. I would like to, but obviously you're the guest here, so I think you should give it a shot. Try put a show on
Wow.
for us here.
Yep, definitely. I'm happy to. If we just have a look at the formation app, you can see that Alfa Romeo leading the pack. It's a very, very timeless livery, the Alfa Romeo. I think it's very subtle, but the livery is carrying a lot of tradition and culture, and it's a very, very obviously timeless brand as well. So I think uh, hopefully with next season's regulation changes, some of the teams on the lower end can obviously return to some of their former glory, but right now we live in the era of turbo hybrid, and so we're just excited to see how this season expands.
Yeah. Could be a very close one, but hopefully Shankster might be able to keep his pole position in the driver's standings. But it's still out to play for. But yeah, it looks like the majority of people have gone on the softs. If we just have a look at the tyres, we might be able to see who's gone on what. So Iris Cloud, Shankster J, Moosey, the player, and Julian are all on mediums, and the rest of the drivers are on softs. So this could be an interesting one.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of those who put medium laps in did it obviously for strategy, so they can go a little bit longer. But if you have a good start with the soft tires and you get a better just start in general, you can build quite a demanding lead, and hopefully that will help a strategy down the year.
Yeah. Well, looks like the drivers are getting ready for the formation lap.
Yep.
So
They line up.
Could be an interesting one, this one. Let's see what happens here for 26 laps here at Silverstone. Could be an interesting one. And here we are, the drivers are revving the engines.
Yep. They engage neutral.
There we go.
4,
5 red lights.
5 lights. It's lights out. Is it not?
It might be. It lights to the delayed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lights out.
Away we go. Great start there from the first Alfa Romeo. The pack seems to be all over the place at the moment. He does take the lead going into the first corner. The McLaren goes a little bit wide. So the two Alfa Romeos managed to stay within the podium spots. The Aston Martin in second, two McLarens in fourth and fifth, and the Alpines just following closely. A lot of people going wide there in those corners, so you can tell that they're really respecting the space given to each other. As there's a great start from Toussaint there, who manages to get himself up 2 spaces, with Bonnie losing to the Alpine making up 1 space, and the Haas of Julian Klossman up 5 spots. What a start from him. So a nice clean start.
Really just managed to make the move on to St. No, it's okay. And so far we've got a really clean start here. So Pope, IRS and Cloud and Toussaint are the top 3 at the minute. the other McLaren, Bonnie is slowly looking, trying to look for that move there. Will he look for the move and Rackets and Beckett? Probably not, but if he gets enough at the exit, will he be able to try and look for the overtake? Right, keep an eye out,
this is some really good racing so far.
Yeah,
as you can see that big toe. Alpine pulling out. I think he was looking at a move there, but he obviously saw the DRS, not the DRS train, but the little toe slipstream train stopping him. I think we should turn our attention to Perfect Pond. He's lost 5 spaces in the beginning there. That's a very, very poor start for him. That's not something he'll want going into the latter stages of this race.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got damage. Yeah, he's in the pit.
Unfortunate there.
That's really unfortunate for him.
Meanwhile, Whitley Style and Bonnie are really close to each other, so this could be a move from the McLaren at some point, followed by Shankster and Rosamond, both Alpine drivers slowly tucking behind there. But this could be a potential move here at some point. Pope though,
Definitely.
what a start from Pope.
Yeah, he's really commanding that front of the pack. You know, mistakeless at the moment, but I don't want to curse him with my words. I think he's doing quite well to just build a little bit of a lead. He is 8 tenths ahead going into this straight, and now it's just a matter of how well he can manage his tyres. He's on the softs, remember, so in terms of strategy, I think he should be pitting a little bit earlier.
Yeah, body went a little bit wide there, so could be an interesting one. I'm just going to wait and see. Everyone's just managing to keep it clean. See, this is all about a slipstream train, so it's like really hard to try and make some overtakes.
Yeah, definitely.
So the predicted strategy just appears on screen there. So it looks like it's either going to be a soft to medium or soft to hard race. So it looks like the majority of these drivers will go for a soft to medium.
Yeah, you would expect so. The drivers starting on the medium, obviously, I think they made the good call. I think some of the medium drivers actually made up a few spaces at the start, so the soft drivers losing out in some of those battles there. As we just quickly update you, Julian Klossman receives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, I'm guessing corner cutting, as well as Perfect Pond. So his race has been quite shambolic so far. He's dropped to last on the grid with a penalty now. It's going to be a monumentous effort to try and get him back into some point scoring position.
Yeah, but the player and Julian are slowly from behind. Will the move be looked here? As the Red Bull's thinking about it. No, he's just tucking in behind at the minute. But he's going to be trying to look for a move there soon. But yeah, everyone's starting to space out now, so it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I think this is going to whittle down to strategy in the end. You know, the undercut is very powerful on tracks like this, you know, where overtaking is necessary, but also if you can get your tyres up to temperature in that first section of the track and really get yourself, you know, on some good pace on your outlap, you can really, you know, be the aggressor to those in your forward spots if they haven't pitted.
Yeah, and Shanks is slowly creeping up on the McLaren driver here, and Bonnie Evil. Bonnie's trying to get away, trying to catch up with his styles. But so far, there's been no errors here. Everyone's trying to keep it clean. It's all about that pace now, but I think Cass is going to try and look for a move on Donchad there. But he was considering there because he just dropped. I think Julian is going to look for a move though.
Yep, not respecting team orders, those two Mercedes. They're in their own races, you know. We've seen this many times before in many races, and especially in that position, that sort of midfield spot, you don't really, you know, think too much about the team, and you really want to put yourself in the best spot to score the most points.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep an eye out on the back here. Looks like the moves are getting close. Speaking of moves, Julian going down the inside of the Mercedes, a brilliant move there from Julian.
Brilliant move there, yep. He makes up a spot. The Mercedes, I think, too focused on the move ahead. I think he lost out a little bit, maybe went a bit wide or lost the racing line, and Julian really took the inside from him.
Yeah,
that's a great move, that is.
I think consistency is going to be key if you want to try and catch up. If you get that consistency, it might work. But Shanks is just slowly creeping up. El Musi is getting a 3-second time penalty there. Really unfortunate from him.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot to play for. It's still early laps. It's just about getting that pace. But Bonnie's creeping up on Whitley style here. Potential move could be made from McLaren. Slowly creeping up. Let's see if he Didn't try and get any more time in the last 2 corners. And he's thinking about it. And not quite. I think he's just going to tuck behind the team orders. Toussaint pulling off fastest lap there at the minute.
Yeah, you really got to focus on, you know, just punching those consistent, you know, medium speed laps, and really just starting to build a gap to the person behind you, and then you can start to think about, especially, you know, just during the pit window, trying to get an overtake in, really setting yourself up track position wise, seeing where you can, you know, putting yourself in the best spot before your set of pit stops.
Yeah, well, Bonnie's going to try to look for a move on. Whitley Styles sends it down the inside. Will Whitley Styles be able to hold it?
Great.
Doesn't manage to do it. Great move there. I think Whitley Styles might retaliate here.
Yeah, under braking, you know, caught the Alpha off guard, and he takes that position really well. And I think that's the real strength of those soft tires. You know, especially if you get good temperature into them, you can really trust the car going into corners. And that's a brilliant move there by Bonnie.
Yeah, really good move there. So Bonnie's going to try and catch up to his teammate. And Toussaint now, he's trying he's gaining time on IRS Cloud. Sitting out on them two in particular. I think Jake's going to try and look for a move on the Alpine. Will he look for the move? He's trying to think about it. The Alpine just holding it round the outside.
Great move by Shanks. I think he managed to come out ahead of Bonnie. That was what maybe caused the yellow flag in that sector, but maybe a bit of contact, but he manages to take that position. But look at Bonnie just behind him.
Oh, this is going to be a close one here. Let's ride on board with these guys. Let's see if any moves are going to be taken here. The McLaren's thinking about it. Bonnie's going to go on the inside, manages to let the dive bomb. Will he be able to hold it as they go wheel to wheel now into turn 1? Shanks is going to try and hold it on the inside. Will Bonnie look for the switch back? Not quite.
Yeah,
but Shanks still holding that position there.
Definitely, and he's deploying a lot of his battery out of that corner. I think
he saw around the outside of Whitley Style, gets the move done there, pushes him up into 4th place. Now he's going to be tracking down Toussaint.
I think Wiggly Style, you know, he's either lost a bit of focus or so. He's lost a few places as well. He needs to really get back in there, you know, start getting some good lap times in. He's losing out on. He lost out on the Alpine and on the McLaren, so he needs to get his head back in the game and try and make up a position, or just hopefully defend from another overtaking opportunity.
Yeah, but so far, I mean, everyone's trying to keep it clean, but the battle for third and fourth is unbearable. IRS Cloud is trying again on Pope now. Let's ride on board with the Aston Martin, see what he can do now. IRS Cloud and Toussaint just slowly tucked onto Pope, so Pope must have lost quite a bit of time there for the battle for first as he's going into turn 1. I think the move might be looking onto turn 2 here. Not quite. But we're just keeping an eye out on them three, because these three are going for a battle. But meanwhile, towards the middle of the grid, I think Jeff managed to get in a position now. Don't think he did actually. But they seem pretty much spread out. So it is the battle for first. IRS Cloud right behind Purple. IRS Cloud look for the move. Meanwhile, Toussaint's going to try and get involved here. IRS Cloud's trying to make the slipstream. And they're thinking about going wheel to wheel. No, not quite. It's quite difficult because you think they're going to go wheel to wheel, but it's just a camera angle, isn't it? It's like... Yeah,
it's, you know, I'm trying to do what I can to see the best angle, but you know, we have to do what we can with what's getting them to us. But I think Pope holding on really well here, especially after some early aggression there from IRS.
Yeah, IRS is speeding a bit, managing to get the move there.
Great move there from IRS. I think he took the slipstream and managed to get around the outside. I think Pope knew to not obviously challenge that too much. There would have been a bit of contact. That could have ended really bad for both of them.
Jake just managed to make a move down Rosamond. Didn't quite catch that, he was so focused on the first, but Jake manages just to get that move done. I mean, he pushes him up into 7th place there, so he's going to be hunting down Bonnie Evo. But,
just a quick update in terms of penalties. Julian Klossman, TH4 players, Laquita, Perfect Pond, and Elmas all have penalties now. So as you can see, race control being very, very strict in terms of the corners you're allowed to cut and the sort of space the track will give you. So it's very unfortunate for their races, but you know, if they keep their head in it, they can definitely. And that's another 3-second penalty for Laquita. So really unfortunate. He's really on the back foot here. Just see how he deals with it. You know, anything can happen, especially in these pit stops.
Yeah, well, 2 cents gradually down on Pope there. You just have to keep an eye out, because if 2 cents can get a decent exit here, he might be able to look for the move on the Alfa Romeo.
Yep.
But also Rosamund's trying to gain a lot of time there. Manages to get a decent exit using all the ERS possible and DRS. This could be a potential move here from the McLaren. Not quite.
Yeah. Down that straight they go. I think it's great. You can see the calipers, the brakes really glowing as they go into these corners. It just shows you just how much wear the tires and the brakes go through, you know. And so the amount of control it takes to control these cars is really admirable. But the pack has started to split a little bit. You can see some groups now starting to form. We have, you know, the podium groups, and then a little bit of a gap toward the further back places, I want to say higher point scoring places, and a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Kaz. That's really unfortunate, that is.
Yeah.
And now
Damn. He's getting all that time there on Pope. I think he's going to stay right behind him for now.
Yeah, he's really, really pressuring Pope. He's making him defend. And Pope obviously showing some excellent defensive skills. But I think he's just biding his time. See, yeah, he's trying to break the toe.
Yeah,
He's
trying,
really, really close.
Is right on him.
Pope, let's not forget, it's really close to the Aston Martin, so it could be you know, I think if anything was to happen, any moves to happen, IRS could really lose out here with both of them approaching with a lot of speed, especially down the straights.
Yeah. But yeah, so retired from this session, Nikita.
Yeah, our first retirement of the race. Unfortunate, but he did pick up quite a few penalties, and you know.
Oh, I think Jeff will come for a move on Bonnie Evil. Oh, so Bonnie Evil and Shank, Ripley Styles are going to the pit. And Rosamund is staying out, so is Jake, so they boosted 2 positions. I saw you were looking for a move there, but turns out they just managed to pit, so they're going to be going onto the medium compound now.
Yeah, into the first set of pit stops we go. This has to be great from both of them. Yeah, as I can see, the mediums really paying off more than the softs. I'm just having a look at Wiggly here. It was a decent pit, manages to come out ahead of 2 Saints, so keeps that track position. But yeah, the medium obviously paying off IRS, and now he's in a bit of a lead there.
Yeah, so he's going to gain a lot of time now. Meanwhile, I think Donchad might look for the move on Julian. Let's have a look now. As we go wheel to wheel into this top corner, Julian holding it on the outside.
Yeah,
Donchad looks
on
for
the
the move on the inside. Gets the move done. Julian is trying to retaliate, though. These guys are still going wheel to wheel. This is going to be really close. The Mercedes on the inside there, as you can tell, as he's going into this fast right-hander. Julian holding it round the outside.
Retakes it on the outside.
Did Donchad not take damage?
There might have been a bit of contact there I wasn't able to see from the camera, but that was a great bit of racing there from both of them.
It was a good bit of racing there, but I think Donchad got damage. I'm not too sure. Oh no, he didn't, because he's gaining time on Julian. I think he's going to try and look for another move here into this corner.
Another move on.
Meanwhile, 2 Saints went into the pits there to try and go for that fresh set, so that boosts some people up. Donchad's gone into the pits there. And Donchad
into the pits as well, yeah, so they're really exhausting the most of those soft tyres, especially around a track like this. It's so high deg, so the soft tyres are all going onto the medium tyres. Now it's all about the medium tyre runners. How much of a gap can they build to those who are in track position, and will they able to last come be at the time for their pit stops?
Well, obviously I think Pope's at the DRS now, because he's gaining a lot of time there, but I think Bonnie and Whitley Styles are going to go for a little bit of a battle here. Let's see. Yeah, just managing to gain. 2 Saints has himself up into 6th. Good pit strategy there from the McLaren.
Yep.
They're going to go around the corners and see what they can do. I think Pub's trying to spend a lot of time on iOS Cloud. Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
the battle
time there,
seems to be quite...
Sorry,
go ahead.
No,
I was saying the battle seems to be quite tough. The only reason I think that gap's a little building is Pope is on those used soft tyres, so how long he can sort of keep up with the pace of those mediums, which are a lot fresher. Yeah, there you go, straight into the pits.
So Pope's
You
into
understand?
the pits, but Shankster's right behind Jake here. See what Shankster can do. I think he's going to try and look for a move. Not quite, but he's going to gain a lot of time there on Jake, so we could see some potential moves getting done into turn 1. But these guys are the closest battle we've seen. No, not quite, because the player's there. But Bonnie Evil getting the move on Weekly Styles there. Well done from Bonnie Evil. Good move there from the McLaren. Gets behind his teammate now, so it's all about catching up to his teammate. And,
yeah, some really close battles going on at the moment. I think Julian pitted to some softs. I'm not sure if that's part of his strategy.
He might have done for a medium soft there. Could be an interesting one. But he'd have to push the softs the rest of the way.
And that's going to be very tough. You know, we're not even halfway through this race yet, and he's had to pit with the first set. So either, you know, I've got to say that call might not be the best. I think, you know, if you're struggling that much through these 12 laps or so, I think that was the latest pit as well. You might not be able to make it to the end, or you'll be dropping off towards the end of the stint, definitely.
Yeah. Right now, I think Shankster's creeping behind Jake. Shankster's going to go for a move, and he sends it down the inside. Will Jake be able to hold it around the outside? These two are still going wheel to wheel. This could be an interesting one here. The Ferrari just getting the better exit as going into the last 2 corners. Jake managing to get the move back and the position back. Good move there from the Ferrari.
Yeah, that's a brilliant move, that is. Especially down those last 2 corners, under braking, manages to hit that spot from Shankster. They are on used tyres, so you know, there's just a little bit more grip. That sort of outermost layer of the tyre is, it's not as rigid anymore with the heat, and that is another 3-second time penalty. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, Julian's going to try and look for a move. He went onto the grass there. These two are from wheel to wheel with Donchad. Donchad holding it on the inside. That's the move done. Will Julian be able to retaliate now? As they went into the last 2 corners, Julian holding it on the inside. Gets the move done there. But John Chad's going to look for a response here. Yeah, he's looking for a response. But also Shankster's in a lot of time there as well.
Yeah, the gap at the top's very close.
It's very close.
IRS doing really well. You know, he's built that gap after the first set of pit stops. I think he's done the strategy really well. We just got to see it to the end.
Yeah, Julian. Donchad and Julian made contact on the second corner, so Donchad might have damage there. Hasn't got damage, but he's still gaining time. These two are still going wheel to wheel, while these two are not.
They're wheel to wheel.
The Mercedes going down the inside. That's the move done there.
That was a great bit of racing there, yeah.
Great bit of racing.
Unfortunate for Julian to go wide there, but I think that was a good bit of racing between Donchad and Julian. Julian losing out, actually, he's lost 2 places there to TH4 and Cass. So obviously you can see the consequences of really challenging or defending a position. If you go too wide, everyone is on your tail, especially in a pack so tightly bound.
Yeah. I think British Star and Bonnie are having a little.
We do have some altered strategies. So our strategy, our predictive strategy, was a soft to the medium if you were on the soft, but some on the softs are on the hards, and that can take them to the end of the race. Now, if performance drops off, you know, towards the top of the pack, and you have hards that are going very strong continually, if you can really drive it out, punch in some good laps on those hards, you can maybe make up a few spots. That's obviously not the predicted strategy, but it's good to see some different strategies being used. With another move on the Mercedes. Wow, that was great. A little bit, I think, between Julian and Cass, still fighting it out.
Yeah. I think Shankster and Bonnie are going for a little bit of a battle here.
Oh, and Toussaint's retired from the race.
No way.
Has he crashed out? What's happened there?
Did he lack out? Oh no.
The safety car. There must have been an incident.
Oh.
Safety car deployed. And you know what? I think I just saw Don Chad do a really cheeky move just before the safety car was truly deployed. A little overtake there on TH4.
That was actually blowing my mind.
Yeah, that is very, very upsetting there for Toussaint. Remind me where he was in the championship standings, but you know, a DNF here might be very costly in terms of the amount of points taken.
I'll have a look.
Yep, and we'll probably have a few laps under the safety car. We just have to wait for the mask to now catch up with the pack. But that is a really unfortunate little incident there between Toussaint. I'm not sure who he collided with. And Julian Klossman with a 10-second time penalty for speeding, or 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. So
yeah, Toussaint was 9th in the standings.
That is very upsetting. You know, he was driving a really good race. I think he put himself up near the start, but that's very unfortunate. That's our second retirement of the race. He must be really kicking himself after that.
Indeed, and he's left this session.
We've got Luquita in the chat, and he's saying he's having a hard time on track today. Yeah, really unfortunate with those track limits, Luquita, but you know, what can we do? He drove a decent race so far. Obviously, as you can see with the penalties, there's quite a few people there with who are struggling out on track today, especially keeping their tyres in check and keeping it within the white. But you know, for those, some of them have actually pitted for softs. This could be interesting. So why that is interesting is we had them on mediums, but we know that the softs can last around about 10 or so laps, and a few laps under the safety car waiting for the pack to sort of regroup. We can find, you know, we find ourselves with only 10 or so laps left of the race, and you know you can push those soft tyres a lot harder now, as we have Mercedes and McLaren and another Alfa Romeo pitting as well for some softs. So you can see someone's followed suit. IRS on the softs, Bonnie now leading on the speed under the safety car. This is a great development. This is, especially towards the end of the race. I think the soft tyres will be quite loosey goosey, as Sebastian Vettel once said. But yeah, everyone's opting for the softs. Don Chad actually going for the mediums, so he might not be too proud of that decision come race time. Kaz with another 3-second time penalty, and the pack have almost re-emerged, although the pit stops are going to split the pack up a little bit more. Must say it's been quite a cracking race so far. Some great moves made by some of the Mercedes. The Haas Julian's made some really good moves. Unfortunate to get some penalties during the race, but IRS, you know, he's been constantly in those podium position fights, and it's been quite a treat to watch.
Sorry if you were trying to talk to us. I was trying to busy.
No, it's completely okay.
But yeah, so this is very interesting in terms of the pole at the standings at the minute.
Yep. I was just saying, during the safety car, they've all pitted to softs. So
have they?
They know that the softs can go about 10 laps, and the safety car is going to be about another lap or so. So there's just under 10 laps left of this race, and they can really push those soft tyres. A few people might be losing out, Wiggly style, Luca Rosman and Don Chad. Perfect Pond as well.
Stood out, Don Chad and Pond and the Mask. They've all stayed out on the mediums, which is interesting.
Yeah. But quite a good development here to see how this plays out now for the next 10 laps or so. It's a great shot, that is, of all the cars on track warming up their tyres. Really is a great shot. I think,
Yeah.
oh, one of the Mercedes, Don Chad, goes back into the pits. I think he's going for those softs.
Yeah, I think he's looking for the soft tyres. I think it's going to help him a lot as he is under the safety car. And with 10 laps to go, I think the mediums can give him enough pace there.
Yeah, definitely.
Were they trying to go for an overtake? That was interesting. there's a glitch with, I don't know if they patched it, but there was a glitch with the game where you could actually overtake into the safety car.
Yeah, I think that's what, when the safety car was initially deployed, there was a little cheeky move there by one of the Mercedes on a Haas. What you can do, and I'm not saying this is an exploit for the game, but if you overtake just before the pack have breached, or if someone slows down a bit too much, you can keep that position, which is very, very cheeky. But with around the pit stops, the drag positions shuffled over, so no one's gained an unfair advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one. But just have to wait and see.
Shankster, I think he leads the not Shankster, one of the, was it Shankster that leads the championship standings? He's in third.
Leading the standings.
Yeah.
So Shankster's really Shankster's ready to get this finished. Pope's in 9th. So Pope's got a lot of work to do to catch up there.
Yeah, Pope's going to have a bit of a tough one, having to clear the McLaren of Bonnie, who we've seen to be quite a good overtaker on this track as well. The Mercedes coming to a full halt there with Don Chad. A bit
interesting.
But yeah, I think Shankster's going to...
Oh, the safety car's in this lap.
Yep. Why don't you take us through the safety car restart then, Dan?
Alright, hold on. I think you might have to.
Yep, no worries, some technical issues. Yep, so IRS in the lead, he's out. When the safety car goes in, he controls the racing, he's allowed to go as quick as possible. But what I was going to say is, Shankster's probably in the best position to make the most of the safety car. He's brought himself up into the podium positions on a soft set, and the safety car is in now. It's only a matter of time before racing resumes, and IRS controls this pack really well.
But I hear the door now as it's going across the line here, and it's back to racing. So right now Shankster's really getting close behind Ferrari as they're going into the first corners. Will Shankster look for the move here? He's thinking about it. Not quite, but meanwhile other people are making moves here. Someone spun off the track on the hood of the Mercedes there. He spun off the track. But the IRS crowd managing to get in that position there away from the others. He gets himself up into first place. Shankster slowly creeping behind there. But meanwhile, Elmus and Julian and Bonnie, these two are going wheel to wheel. This will be an interesting one here as they're going into these corners now. Bonnie trying to hold it on the inside for this corner. Manages to get the move done and just clears that move there.
Yeah, high speed, round those high speed corners. Manages to keep himself within the lines. Under braking as well, just around the outside, I believe, of the Haas. That was a great bit of move there. But the Haas, he's not backing off just yet. Goes a little bit wide there. He's on the tail of that McLaren. Alongside now, around the outside.
Wheel to wheel, Bonnie's spun.
No.
That could cost him a lot of time there.
Yeah. And that's a time penalty for Bonnie.
We might have to have a look at that one.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have to have a look at that one after one.
But a perfect plan now is going to go for the move on Julian. Goes for the switch back down the inside. Julian holding it round the outside now. As these two are going to go wheel to wheel. Oh, perfect plan just lagging a little bit there. So we couldn't really see what moves were getting done there.
Yeah, really unfortunate there what happened to Bonnie. Definitely will have to be just investigated after the race. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, an unfair time penalty there from
But I think
race
perfect
control
plan's
side.
going to try and offer the move on Julian now.
Yeah,
the back of the pack is quite close, but then the player, he's doing quite well. He's trying to gain a lot of time on Rosamund there. And also Cass is slowly getting there, but I mean that's an interesting safety car reset there.
Yeah, definitely. He restarted the race along the main straight. I think he might have caught VR Jake napping a little bit. He's managed to get quite a bit of a lead ahead of him. But some brilliant racing so far. Unfortunate what's happened to Bonnie. Hopefully he can make up a few spaces, get himself back into those points positions. He had quite a good race so far.
Yeah, just give me a minute, mate. I just need to go for a minute. I'm sorry about this. Do you want to carry
on?
No.
I
won't be too long.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a perfect pond and Julian really going at it. Perfect pond actually goes a little bit wide, and the Williams of El Musi manages to retake that spot. Julian doing really well to defend against, but now Williams, is he trying the move along Julian? The Williams is really close to Julian there. DRS is re-enabled now as well, three laps after the safety car. There are only 6 laps left in this race, so it's really anyone's. Although at the front, IRS McLeod some great tyre maintenance, managing to keep ahead. Jake obviously doing what he can, but he's slowly dropping back, and the pack's really somewhat split here. Julian with some great bit of defence there, though. We've got the Mercedes pitting again. I think he may have received some damage. He comes out of the pits in the mask. It's just not been his day in that Williams. He trails 41 seconds behind. Have a look at our leader here. Yeah, he's built a bit of a gap. The Ferrari of Jake, though, if he can pop in some good lap times, he may be able to challenge for this top spot. He's dropped that gap by about 2 tenths this lap, so he may be faster. Having a look elsewhere, Luke and Wiggly, they're really close. I think Luca going for biding his time, maybe going for a move. Shankster doing well to keep himself in the podium position, doing well to be clean.
Oh, Clash has just wiped out Elmus, I think.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just managed to get back to that. That was a interesting one. So I noticed Pope managed to stay in the position there, but meanwhile the battle for fourth commences here as the 2 Alfa Romeos are packing that Alpine. It's like an Alpine sandwich, isn't it? You've got the Alfa Romeo sandwich. Something
yeah,
like
Wiggly and Pope. It is. Wiggly's doing well to stay somewhat ahead of Luca.
Yeah, but if we look though, Shanks just picked up a time penalty. It might have been a while back, but meanwhile the Alpine's going to go for it. Will they look for a move on with his style? Manages to get the move done. With his style going to tuck behind Rosamund now. He's going to look for a move into these corners. Meanwhile, Pope tries to send one. That's behind the Alpine now. Will he be able to look for a move? Not quite, but just managed to get past his teammate. So he's pushing there. Yeah, nice move there from
and a bit
Pope.
Further back. Yeah, there was a bit of a spin from El Musi further back. He lost out on a couple of positions. That was the yellow in sector 2. But this is
but Pope's right on the back now. Sorry, but Pope's right on the back now. Rosamund's picking up another 3-second time penalty, so this will give Pope the advantage. Will he be able to try and get past the Alpine? He does. Boosts him up into 4th place, so he's going to be hunting down Shankster. Speaking of Shankster, he's right behind the Ferrari now. This could be a very interesting battle here, the battle for P1. If Shankster can keep a 3-second gap, he would still be able to get P3 here. And
the podium position is still on.
Julian's done for a little bit of a battle here. Sorry about this, but Julian's going to try and look. He's gone really wide there. I don't know what he's trying to do there, but he does get the move done on perfect time. Will he be able to make the move on Cash? Does the move on both of them, but he does get a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I think he may have gained a little bit of an legal advantage there, but does take himself up in terms of track position. That was a great move to get ahead of them both. Not as fair as you expect.
Well, with 4 laps to go this race, this should be an interesting one. Cash getting the move done on Julian. These guys are on wheel to wheel. Can't really see Julian spinning out there. And perfect pond just managed to be in the position, really unfortunate there. But if we look now, Bonnie, he's going to try and get for the move. Gets past the Aston Martin, will he be able to do it? As he's going to go around the outside of the Aston Martin, gets the move done. Now is he going to look for the move on the Mercedes? He might send it. No, he's right behind on the Mercedes. He's still thinking about it though. But,
there could have been contact there, but it was good for him to back off. Yeah, it could have been contact, but Bonnie, great recovery drive so far, up into P8.
Oh, Bonnie spun again. No. He's trying to look for the move on. I think it might have been perfect pond, but just didn't let it hit the back tyre and spun into the gravel. Really unfortunate there from Bonnie.
Yeah. Such a good drive to get him back up into those point scoring positions, but unfortunately, you know, this is the consequences of such hard and fast racing. You can spin at any moment if you're not in control of the car. And I think it was the Mercedes he actually collided with. He was in battle for that position with the Mercedes, and the Mercedes, I guess, came out on top.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate from him. Perfect pump picking up a fine second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Does push Bonnie up into P9, but I think Bonnie... What's Bonnie doing? Oh, Julian getting past Bonnie. I think Julian... Yeah, we might have to have a look at this. But Julian getting the move done on Bonnie around the outside there. But this is Shanks' time to shine now. It's 3 laps to go in this race, and Shanks is slowly creeping behind the Ferrari. He might be able to get up into P2, but IRS Cloud still leading the way this race after the safety car. Good racing from him and the Ferrari so far.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jake's doing well to keep that position so far, but Shanks is gaining and gaining. Obviously, with that time penalty, he doesn't really have to worry about losing that position so much. But yeah, it'll be good to, you know, clear that Ferrari and really challenge for P1 and see if you can build a little bit of a gap.
I think Bonnie's going for round 2 here. Sorry to interrupt, but Bonnie, he's going to look like he's going for round 2. Will he be able to make the move around the outside? He's going to consider it as they go wheel to wheel now into this fast right-hander. Julian holding it on the inside. Doesn't leave him enough room there. Bonnie makes the right move just to back out there. He's going to go for another move. Probably after Marcus and Beckett. Gets the exit. Julian going really wide. There could be a lot of contact here. Julian keeping it back on track. But yeah, I think Bonnie's gonna go round the outside of Julian. Julian going wheel to wheel.
Oh,
Bonnie's spun again.
Yeah.
I don't think that was Bonnie's fault, but that does allow Don Chad to go up into 9th place. I don't think that was Bonnie's fault there.
Yeah, neither do I. I think there was some good space given, but towards the final exit of that corner, the Haas just turned in a little bit too much, and that really offset the front tyres of the McLaren. That's unfortunate, but you know, it's racing.
Yeah, Donchard just gonna let them move past his teammate now, it looks like. Yep, pushes him up into 7th place. The McLarens are going wheel to wheel. Well, trying to. I think it's just team orders. Cass is gonna stay back, let him pass, and they're trying to gain some time there. But meanwhile, Shanks is getting a lot of time on the Ferrari. This could be a close one between the top 3. If Jake can gain a lot of time, and as long as IRS Cloud doesn't gain a time penalty, he could still have a chance. Meanwhile, Whiffley Star getting the move done on Rosamond. I think Rosamond's going to respond here on these last 2 corners towards the finish.
Yeah, it's really close between those two. It's good to see. Well, it's exciting to see who comes out on top around this final corner here. He gets a great slipstream down the straight. Now it's all about biding his time and pulling out. Doesn't manage to get close enough there.
I think Bonnie's coming back to round 3. Sorry to interrupt, but Bonnie's going to get the move done on the Mercedes. Good move there.
Yeah.
So he gets himself up to 8th place. Now he's going to try and gain as much time as possible on Donchard there, as he's right behind him.
And this will be really big if you manage just to obviously make up a few overtakes towards the end of the race. We're approaching our last lap of the race now. IRS McLeod, he's been faultless since that restart, and he's really drove a commanding leading of the pack. Shankster and Jake really fighting at it if you want to have a look at that battle there.
Yeah, I think the player and Cass are going to, these two are lacking a little bit. This is a very, let's try not to look at that one. I think we might have to look at the player's internet thing there. But meanwhile, Shankster, you're right, because Shankster's going to try and look for a move now on the Ferrari. He's closely considering it there. But Rosamond is now gaining a lot of time on Whiffley Style. Really trying to look for the move as Rosamond's going to go round the outside. Whiffley Style holding it on the inside, great defending there from the Alfa Romeo, trying to hold that position. But Pope, he's gaining a lot of time as we come towards the last lap of the race. Will Shankster be able to gain possibly a 2nd position? As here we go now. But
Shankster really needs to be careful.
Top 3. Yellow flag is after 2 there.
Yeah, he's deploying a lot of his battery here as well. They really need to be careful, especially Shankster. He doesn't want to use too much here to get past the Ferrari of Jake. If he does, he might lose out on some time to Pope behind him, and with that penalty, Pope could take that final podium spot.
Oh, the mask has DNF'd. There was a lot of contact there between. Well, he hasn't DNF'd, but he's just managed to smash through the barrier. That's really unfortunate there from the mask. He's going to be coming into the pits for a fresh win. But speaking of Shankster, you are right. He's going to have to try and use as much ERS as possible to try and catch up. This is going to be quite close. Will the battle for P2 commence? Let's ride on board with the Alpine. Will you look for a move? He's deploying every bit of ERS. This could be really close here.
Yeah, he's really following closely.
Oh, the Ferrari doesn't go around the outside. Doesn't manage to get the move, but Shanks is trying to send one down the inside. This could be very close to the battle for P1.
As on the last second to last corner.
The Aston Martin going wheel to wheel towards the final corner.
Shanks to take that space.
And
Jake spins. Oh no.
Which pushes Pope up into third place. Shanks
on the last
that
corner
second.
of the race.
And IRS Cloud wins again. What an intense battle towards them last couple of corners towards the finish line there.
Excellent racing towards the end. Really unfortunate for Jake there, spinning and losing that final position to Pope, the final podium position I should say. But that was some great racing towards really, all or nothing, lunging down the inside. IRS manages to hold on really well and take in the win. He was really under pressure there, especially in that last lap. I'm not sure if he had any issues.
Really under pressure. Oh, I think this guy's laughing. He's trying not to spectate, but I think Cass and the player, them two are going to go for a battle. But Bonnie comes across the line 8th there. I mean, Bonnie had a decent race, I'm not going to lie. Right, he might have spun out a couple of times, but he managed to gain back some points for the McLarens. Really unfortunate there for his teammate though, Toussaint. I think Toussaint had a really good race. Meanwhile, Perfect Pond just getting the move on the player there. Now he's going to try and look for a move on the Cass, and Cass just spun him. Definitely don't have to check on that incident there.
No, there's a little spin there from Julian as well.
Towards the back of the grid. But anyway, as I was saying, at least Bonnie brought some points home from the McLaren. Toussaint, really good race from him, but it was really unfortunate towards the end when he spun out there. We didn't see what happened. But overall, I think it's been a good race. I mean, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been quite a pleasure, and thank you to
thank you very much.
What a legend! I mean,
thank you very much for the for a cracking race towards.
Yeah, cracking race, and so it looks like everyone's going to come across the line, and I think the players are quite done, is he? Oh no, he's on his last lap, but he's got damage, so we might be waiting a while.
Yeah.
But what a race there from the top three. I mean, wow, really intense towards the end. Pope managing to get in the position there. I mean, really unfortunate for Jake, as we said, but at least managing to get in top 4, which is, I'm sure he'll be alright with that. At least he didn't go like past P5.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, he's going to be kicking himself for not making up that final podium position, but he managed to keep it together even after the spin. He could have lost out a lot more, and he takes that 4th spot. As you said, Toussaint, very unfortunate. He was doing some brilliant racing there alongside his teammate Bonnie, who maybe had a few questionable decisions go against him and have a few spins here and there, but a great recovery drive on his behalf to come back quite a few times actually after a spin and win back some points. Although I must say, hats off to IRS McLeod. He really pounced during that safety car. He wasn't the first to pit for softs, but his choice, he had the youngest tyres as well at the time.
That's an interesting one. I don't know if you've seen that, but IRS McLeod got a 20-second time penalty.
Oh.
That was weird. So no yellow flags. Is that a bug? That might have been a bug, but we are going to say that IRS Cloud did win that race.
Yeah, provisionally I do believe IRS did win. I didn't see any penalties next to his name.
I don't see any penalties. I mean, I think...
But if this is the standings that remain, Shankster, our championship leader, will take 25 points, and that is crucial, and that's a very, very big win for him. Although I do believe this may be a little bit of an issue with the game.
I think that would have been an issue, so I think we're still going to say that... who's in the pit? Yeah. we're still going to say that IRS crowd like won that race. I don't think it was fair that the Dame gave him a 20-second time penalty for no reason. But
Yeah, that was
Don Chad there.
Don Chadwick, driver of the day. Although the Mercedes, he did drive a very good race, with some brilliant racing next to Julian and Bonnie as well, and he manages to get himself in that 7th spot. So yeah, obviously I think we hold our own poll for driver of the day or driver of the week.
But yeah, I don't think we got a poll there. We probably have to get one started off for next time. We got like 2 weeks now because it's break week here at Night Race Racing League. So yeah, I think that's about it. So we're going to say that IRS crowd did win that race because obviously the Dame just giving them a 20-second time penalty for no reason. Followed by Shankster, Pope, Jake, Ridley Style, Rosamond, Don Chad, Bonnie Evil, Perfect Pond, Cass, the player, the master, Julian, Moosey, and let's see who else. But
I think those would be the retirees. Say the retirees and the and Laquita. But yeah, really cracking race. Although there will be some investigation in terms of some of the incidents on track, but really thoroughly enjoyed that one. And a big pleasure to be next to you, Dan, for the commentation.
Yeah, well, thank you everyone for watching today. Just a reminder, the sponsor, if you haven't already checked out the sponsor, go ahead and do so. Without them, I don't think this stream would be possible. In terms of like helping us out and the league and all that. Thank you again to you, Crow. I mean, I haven't mentioned your name on stream, but thank you. I mean, it's been an honour. Hopefully,
it's been a big pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks now. We've got break week here at the Night Race Racing League. So, so next week is break week, and then the week after, I don't know where we'll have to have a look at F1 and all that. If you haven't joined the Discord, go ahead and do so. All the socials will be on the Twitch as well, and probably in the description of YouTube, so go check them out. And that's about it from here at Silverstone. Shout out to you, Crow, and thank you everyone for watching. Congratulations to the top 3, and until then, I think that's it.
Thank you very much for having me. Well done to all the drivers today. It was a brilliant race. Well done to my co-commentator Dan for having me. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy the break week, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.